Let's now shift our focus to Pakistan. Islamabad's economy is not the only thing in a mess. After being marred by persistent violence, nationwide internet shutdowns, mass arrests, widespread corruption, and unusually delayed results, its election process is now under the scanner. Pakistan seems to be in a total mess. But who is raising aspersions over its February 8 election, you ask? Well, the United States of America. The U.S. House of Representatives is questioning the elections and has passed a bipartisan bill to that end. The resolution was passed by an overwhelming 368-7 vote. Apart from calling on President Biden to tie up with Pakistan in upholding democracy, human rights and the rule of law, the resolution also urges Islamabad to uphold democratic and electoral institutions, human rights and the rule of law, and respect the fundamental guarantees of due process, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, freedom of speech. It condemns attempts to suppress the people of Pakistan's participation in their democracy, including through harassment, intimidation, violence, arbitrary detention, restrictions on access to the internet and telecommunications, or any violation of their human, civil, or political rights. It further condemns any effort to subvert the political, electoral, or judicial processes of Pakistan. And finally, the resolution demands the full and independent investigation of claims of interference or irregularities in the February polls. More importantly, the resolution takes Pakistan's military establishment head on, and as ironic as it may sound, the document reminds the government and the military officials of their constitutional oaths. It quotes from the Pakistani constitution: the federal government shall have control and command of the armed forces, while the armed forces swear they will uphold the constitution and not engage in any political activities. The ignominy does not stop there. The document underlines two important facts. First, allegations by credible international and local observers, the same observers that Pakistan has advertised with a lot of fanfare. They have alleged interference in the electoral process, including electoral violence, intimidation, arrest of political actors, restrictions to freedom of assembly, restrictions on freedom of expression, and restrictions on access to the internet and telecommunications. Unsurprisingly, Islamabad has said the resolution does not align well with the positive dynamics of its bilateral ties with Washington. The February 9, in fact, the U.S. Department of State assessment of observers, it included undue restrictions on freedom of expression, association and peaceful assembly, condemned electoral violence, as well as restrictions on the exercise of human rights and fundamental freedoms, and called for the full investigation of fraud or interference in Pakistan's general elections. Unsurprisingly, Islamabad has said the resolution does not align well with the positive dynamics of its bilateral ties with Washington. Now, these statements might come as a surprise to you. However, that may not be the case with the Pakistani establishment. The country has held 12 general elections so far, and almost all of them have been marred by similar allegations. The condition is so dire that some of these have their own distinct names. The controlled elections of 1997, the party-less polls of 1985, the general's election of 2002, the mother of all rigging in 1990, 2018's, quote, the most unfair elections but only till date, unquote. And surprisingly, many are of the opinion that the 2024 elections have surpassed the 2018 so-called most unfair elections. The reason behind Pakistan's diplomatic collapse, in a way, is not complex. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.